Hi, RBM TV viewers, and welcome to another episode of Rattle and Roll Through the Ages with myself, Grant Edmond, all the way from Johannesburg in South Africa. Hope you guys are going to have a great time with us today, tonight, wherever you may be, whatever time it is in the world. And got some great things on the show. We've got Gavin Hayes on a bit later. Gavin doing some really, really great songs as well. So I thought tonight we'd start off with a nice little idealistic song, a place I think we'd all like to be at the moment, an imaginary little coastal white beach in a little town called Margaritaville. The song was written by none other than the great Jimmy Buffett. Jimmy Buffett was born in 1946, and he was from Mississippi, and he obviously lives now down in the Florida Keys and that area of America, and also has homes in a few islands in the Caribbean. This is a really, really big song in 1977 for Jimmy. And Jimmy Buffett's one of those musicians, when you go and watch his shows, he fills football stadiums. People go and see him, and his loyal fan base are actually called parrot heads. And one thing, Jimmy Buffett is really, really a clever man. He's amassed a fortune through his music, an astute businessman, an aviator. His business interests range from hotels, casinos, property developments, a chain of restaurants called Cheeseburger in Paradise, and the Margaritaville cafes. So this is a really feel-good song, and I hope you guys are going to enjoy it. So here we go. The first one by Jimmy Buffett. Nibbling on sponge cake, watching the Sunday, all of us tourists carving oil, struggling my sink straight on my front porch swing. Smell those shrimp, they beginning to boil. Wasting away again in Margaritaville, searching for my lost shaker soul. Some people claim there's a woman to blame, but I know it's nobody's fault. I don't know the reason why staging was season. Nothing to show about this brand new tattoo. It's a real beauty. She's a Mexican cutie. How it got here, I haven't a clue. Wasting away again in Margaritaville, searching for my lost shaker of soul. Some people claim there's a woman to blame, but it's nobody's fault. Blew up my flip-flop, stood on a beach top, cut my heel, I had to rush back home. But there's booze in the blender, to the veranda. The frozen concoction helps me to go on. Wasting the weekend in Margaritaville, searching for my lost shaker of souls. Some people claim there's a woman to blame, but I know it's nobody's fault. Some people claim there's a woman to blame, but I know it's our own damn fault. It's time for another good feel song. This song was first recorded and written by Neil Diamond in 1967, and it just didn't really do much, and it sort of remained a bit obscure for many years, and was picked up by the top reggae band in the world, UB40, and you had a huge commercial success with the song in 1983. So we thought we'd do it. It's a little bit of a good, feel-good reggae type song. Hope you guys enjoy. This is Red, Red Wine. Red, red wine mixed through my head. Red, red wine goes to my head, makes me forget that I still need a soul. Red, red wine, it's up to you. All I can do, I will. Memories will go. Memories will go. I have sworn that every time thoughts of you leave my head, I was wrong, but I found one thing makes me forget. Red, red wine, stay close to me. Don't let me be alone. Let's tear apart my blue, blue heart. I have sworn that every time thoughts of you would leave my head, I was wrong, but I found one thing makes me forget. Red, red wine, stay close to me. Don't let me be alone. Let's tear apart my blue, blue heart. My Why? Welcome back. This next song was written in 1970, was recorded in 1970 by Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. It was a huge hit all over the world. It was actually written by Graham Nash when he was still with the Hollies, and they never recorded the song. They didn't like it. So when he joined the Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young project, he presented and they just loved it. And on the original recording, Jerry Garcia from the Grateful Dead played the pedal steel guitar. This is a very special song to me in many, many ways. And it was highlighted last week. I got a phone call during the show, when the show was being aired, by an old friend of mine, Johan Swart, who was with me. We both war veterans and served in the Southwest African War in the 80s, and Johan and I were together in a very small little group called 102 Battalion, and we were based up in Kaokaveld, which is one of the most desolate places in the then Southwest Africa, today Namibia. And we used to go on patrols and during the war and go into, did a lot of work up in Angola and come back. And whenever I came back, it's just one of those songs. I always had my guitar in the mess afterwards, a few beers after you'd come back from a 3 or 4 week stint out in the bush. And it was just one of those songs that everybody loved. And I think it was because of the harmonies in it, and you could sing along, and brought back a lot of memories chatting to Johan on previous Sunday. And so, Johan, thank you so much for reminding me of those times that we had, hard times we had. We were just young 18-year-old kids thrust into this war, and we came out the other side of it. And but this song's dedicated to all the wonderful guys that were part of 102 Battalion. And I met so many great friends, and we're actually still all in touch. We've got our own little private group, and the guys do keep in touch, and haven't seen them for many years. And then I recorded the song a few years ago, and funny enough, this has been a great 8 months for me. I've had two number one hits, and this particular song went to number 3 on the charts. So I was quite chuffed. And the main guy on the radio station that is actually runs the whole South African country top 10 hit parade, Marius de Vos, was with me in the army as well. So Marius, thank you so much for what you do for South African musicians and South African music, and for taking a song that I recorded so many years ago and re-releasing it. And it just, as I say, it went to number 3. So this one is for Marius de Vos, Johan Swart, and all the wonderful brothers in arms from 102 Battalion. Hope you guys enjoy this one.
On the road must have a code that you can live by, and so become yourself, because the past is just a goodbye. Teach your children well, their father's help they slowly go by, and feed them on your dreams, the one they picked, the one you know by. Don't you ever ask them why. If they told you, you would cry. So just look at them and sigh, and know know they love you. And you, upsend the keys, can know the fears that you will screw by. So help then when you're you see the truth before they can die. Teach your parents well, the children's hell will slowly go by, and feel them on your trees. One day picked the one you know by. Don't you ever ask them why. If they told you, you would cry. So just look at them and sigh, and know they love you.
Welcome back. Right, we're going to feature, we've had some requests, and thanks once again, everybody. Please keep sending your requests and emails to myself or Gavin. You'll see on our banner, it comes on throughout the show, you'll see our address. Send in your requests, suggestions, likes, dislikes, whatever. But we had quite a few requests from viewers in South Africa over here saying, Grant, why don't you play some Afrikaans music? And so we're going to do that tonight. We've got a thriving, wonderful Afrikaans music industry in South Africa. Some fantastic writers and artists. It's a really, really great industry out here for the Afrikaners. And so I'm going to feature this song. This is done by a group called the Campbells, two brothers, Tony and Harry Campbell, that come from Cape Town. And really great artists, great writers, a duo band. I would sort of compare them to the Bellamy brothers because they, in that league, absolutely both fantastic musicians, and they've had 18 hit albums and DVDs in this country. So this is a song that was their really big breakthrough song was in 2002, and it was a song called Rooi Rok Bokkie, which translated for the other viewers all over the world is the beautiful red-dressed little girl. And it's all basically songs all about this girl that arrives at a dance where they play, and she's got this beautiful red dress on, and that's what the song's all about. So we're going to give this one a bash. And as I say, for the Afrikaans viewers, please verskoon my taal, which means excuse my diction on this, because I'm not Afrikaans at all, and it's quite a hard language. But anyway, we're going to give it a bash. Later on in the show, Gavin's also going to be doing an Afrikaans song by another big South African artist. So I chose to do this one because I've seen the Campbells and seen them live and listened to their stuff, and they really are a great band. A lot of respect for these boys. So Tony and Harry Campbell, please excuse my version of your wonderful, great, fun song. This one's called Rooi Rok Bokkie. Here we go.
2, 3, 4. Jy is my hartsekind, jy is my kappelkind, jy is die mooiste blom waar uit die Vrystaat kom. Jy is my bok, jy is my tok, swart die kort bokkie langsam mee. Want jy jy's mee, rød og buggy. Ons gaan in jou aansokkie. Sit my arm om jou lyf, dan druk ek jou styf vanavond. Want jy's mee, rød og buggy. Ons gaan in jou aansokkie. Jy's die vonkel in my been, die ritme in my sokkies vanavond. Jy's die slaap oor my lago jan. Sy dinkies in die reën, dan blijf jy saam. Jy's my nieuwe nieuws, jy by my kom doen. Jy's die mooiste poppie van verlange baan. Want jy's my rød og buggy. Ons gaan in jou aansokkie. Sit my arm om jou lyf, dan druk ek jou styf vanavond. Want jy's my rød og buggy. Ons gaan in jou aansokkie. Jy's die vonkel in my been, die ritme in my sokkies vanavond. Want jy's my rød og buggy. Ons gaan in jou aansokkie. Sit my arm om jou lyf, dan druk ek jou styf vanavond. Want jy's my rød og buggy. Ons gaan in jou aansokkie. Jy's die vonkel in my been, die ritme in my sokkies vanavond. Want jy's my rød og buggy. Ons gaan in jou aansokkie. Sit my arm om jou lyf, dan druk ek jou styf vanavond. Want jy's my rød og buggy. Ons gaan in jou aansokkie. Jy's die vonkel in my been, die ritme in my sokkies vanavond.
The Camels, Roy Rockbockie. Well, this week's been a very good week for me. I received the news that my single is #1 on the South African country charts, and really, really proud of that. And like I said in the previous song just before, a wonderful radio station out in South Africa called IFM Stereo, a chap called Marius de Vos, who was one of my comrades, brothers in arms during our military service here in the 80s. Marius has been with the station for 23, 24 years now, and an absolute encyclopedia of music, and this is a wonderful guy all around. This song is special. It's a little bit of a long story. We'll try and condense it, but this particular album of mine I had recorded quite a few years ago, and during emigrating to the UK, and it just got lost in translation, and Marius got hold of the album, and so we re-released it again, and I've had 2 hits off the album now, which is astonishing, because I just never thought it would go anywhere. And Marius was the guy that just said, Grant, it's a brilliant album, and I don't know why it got lost somewhere along the path, and so we re-released it, and it's really done so well. So the song on here, when I recorded the album, I just wanted to do the song because it was a very big hit for my dad in 1972 in South Africa. It was top of the charts. My dad is a musician called Grant Edmonds, and his story is such a big one to tell, and hopefully going to have him on a few shows because his career has just been absolutely astounding. He's the only South African artist that's had 7 consecutive chart hits. He's recorded over 120 albums in his career. His music range is so diverse, from pop to country to rock and roll, and to folk. And lately, the last probably 10, 15 years, he's been doing a lot of historical songs on the Boer War. And his other big love is wildlife. He's a bush pilot, a game ranger, lives out in the wild South African bush, and has got a huge knowledge and interest in wildlife. And obviously that's where we're from. I was brought up the same way, brought up in the bush. And my dad has done a lot of wildlife albums, contributed a lot to wildlife all over the world. At the moment, he's just released a new album all about birds. And it's probably about the 4th or 5th one he's done on birds. He's done on animals. He's done all types of things. But anyway, we're going to feature Grant Edmonds in some of the programs. Like I say, we could probably do about 4 series of programs on Grant Edmonds. But check his website out in the meantime. It's www.grantedmond.co.za. And you can go and see all the wonderful things in his career. All his albums are available. They are available for download on CD Baby, iTunes, all those sites. You can buy them directly from their mail order service. And just have a look at my dad's biography and everything. And like I say, I wanted to do, when I recorded this album, I did the song in honor of my dad. And we always joke and I say, well, the royalties you got when you had a hit with this song, you managed to buy me some new school shoes. And my dad and I perform not as often as we'd like to, but we've been performing together over the years. I've been very proud to be his producer. I've produced and co-produced about 7 or 8 of his top-selling albums, and gave me great joy working with him. Wonderful man, wonderful musician. And this particular song has got such a great history to it. My dad had just returned from the Tokyo World Song Festival, where he was one of the South African entrant and did extremely well. And on the way back, they stopped over in Australia, and he met these 2 songwriters called Harry Vander and George Young, who in the 60s, Harry Vander's from the Netherlands, and George Young was originally Scottish, then moved to Australia. And they had a band, had a big hit in the 60s called Friday on My Mind. They were the Easy Beats, and they became a formidable production team. And George Young is the oldest brother of Angus Young and Malcolm Young from AC/DC fame. And they'd written a lot of great songs together, and my dad met up with them. And the song was also co-written by the British actor David Hemmings, and he picked the song up and took it back to South Africa, recorded, and it became a #1 hit. So the history, it's a very geographical history. It was written by a Scotsman, a Dutchman, an Englishman, was taken by a South African, brought back to South Africa, recorded. It was a huge hit, and it's all about a little place in America called Pasadena. So I hope you enjoy this. This is my new #1 hits on the South African country charts, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Here we go.
It's such a long, long way to Pasadena. It's such a long, long way to Pasadena. Yeah, Pasadena town is where I'm going. Where the dirt track meets the highway, and there ain't no time at all. Just to move it forward on a big black motor car. And the travelers in their limousine ain't got no time at all. So find a lonely hiker's way when I wanna sit. It's such a long, long way to Pasadena. It's such a long, long way to Pasadena. And Pasadena town is where I'm going. And you know you just can't ride stagecoach no more, or a western party cars, or a mule train like before. And there's a long way where the desert used to be, and there's no way that you can hide it. Can't you see? It's such a long, long way to Pasadena. It's such a long, long way to Pasadena. And Pasadena town is where I'm going. Such a long, long way to Pasadena. 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 A long, long way to Pasadena. Pasadena.
Yeah, an old 1972 John Edmond hit. Well, it's that time of the show. I'd like to welcome Mr. Gavin Hayes back. Gav, hope you're doing well, and really, really good to have you back on the show. I believe you're going to start with, I did an Afrikaans song earlier on in the show, just to enlighten the viewers of our Afrikaans music here in South Africa. And you're going to do a little song by Mr. Steve Hofmeyer. So tell us a little bit about the song and explain to the non-Afrikaans speaking people what the song's all about.
Hi, Grant. Hi, everyone. Thank you once again for having me on the show. Yes, the first song I'm going to do is an Afrikaans song. It's called Amper by Steve Hofmeyer, and Amper is almost in English. And the song is basically about, you know, when you fall in love, you always meet this person that you really, really like, but they usually don't like you back because you either don't have a nice car or a lot of money, you live in a big house, you don't have all these fancy things. So the song is basically about a guy saying, listen, you don't need all of this. You know, if you could only, one day when you're old and you go back in time and you see, you know, life actually wouldn't have been bad, you know, if I were an electrician or a farmer. And it's just basically one of those things that he just says you don't need all these things. At the end of the day, it's not these things that are going to make you happy. So, yeah, enjoy this Afrikaans song. It's called Amper by Steve Hofmeyer. As jy eendag miskien in 'n dromer ons weer sien, hoe ver 'n mens kan travel op 'n mieliedoorsmasjien, deur die beeskraal en sy kalvers by die hooi met jou te val. Was ek amper in jou drome, jy was rarig in my hart. Was ek amper in jou drome, jy was rarig in my hart. As jy eendag miskien in 'n dromer ons weer sien, hoe ver 'n girl kan travel met 'n skam elektriesien. Ek sal lig maak op jou paaie en 'n kersfees vir jou hart. Was ek amper in jou drome, jy was rarig in my hart. Was ek amper in jou drome, jy was rarig in my hart. As jy eendag my vra, hoe het ek my van my lewe gedra, toe jy my kon vertel het van 'n beter man se plaas, sou ek jou sê jy het alles gemis, toe ek my rug wegdraai. Daar was trane in my oë, drink 'n liter en 'n kwart. Ek was amper in jou drome, jy was rarig in my hart. Daar was trane in my oë, drink 'n liter en 'n kwart. Ek was amper in jou drome, jy was rarig in my hart. Was amper by Steve Hofmeyer.
What a great song, Gavin. Steve, just such a prolific writer and great musician all around. Been around for so many years in South Africa. Really, really, really great. Thanks so much for that, Gav. And the next one you said you were going to do is a Kenny Rogers classic called Coward of the County. What a great song, man. Just so well written. And it came out in 1979, and it was a huge crossover hit for Kenny Rogers. Very nice, simple song, and so glad you're doing it on the show today. So take it away, Coward of the County.
Everyone considered him the coward of the county. He never stood one single time to prove the county wrong. His mama named him Tommy, the folks just called him Yellow. But something always told me they were reading Tommy wrong. Now he was only 10 years old when his daddy died in prison. I looked after Tommy because he was my brother's son. I still recall the final words my brother said to Tommy. He said, "Son, my life is over, but yours have just begun. Promise me, son, not to do the things I've done. Walk away from trouble if you can. No, it won't mean you're weak if you turn the other cheek. I hope you're old enough to understand. Son, you don't have to fight to be a man. There's someone for everyone, and Tommy's love was Becky. In her arms he didn't have to prove he was a man. But one day while he was working, the Gatlin boys came calling. They took turns at Becky, there was 3 of them.
Tommy opened up the door, he saw his Becky crying. The torn dress, the shattered look was more than he could see. He reached above the fireplace and took down his daddy's picture. As the tears fell on his daddy's face, he heard these words again. Promise me, son, not to do the things I've done. Walk away from trouble if you can. Now it won't mean you're weak if you turn the other cheek. I hope you're old enough to understand. Son, you don't have. The Gatton boys just laughed at him as he walked into the barroom. One of them got up and met him halfway across the floor. When Tommy turned around, they said, "Hey, look, old Yellow's leaving." But you could have heard a pin drop when Tommy stopped and locked the door. 20 years of crawling had bottled up inside him. He wasn't holding nothing back, he let him have it all. When Tommy left the barroom, not a Gatton boy was standing. He said, "This one's for Becky," as he watched the last one fall. I promised you, Dad, not to do the things you've done. I walked away from trouble when I can. Now please don't think I'm weak, I didn't turn the other cheek. Oh, Papa, I sure hope you understand. Sometimes you gotta fight when you're a man. Everyone considered him the coward of the county.
There we go. Coward of the County. Thanks so much, Gav. Really, really nice rendition there. And the next one you're going to be doing is a Cliff Richard song, which is really great. This particular song was written by a chap called Lionel Bart, who was writing for all the big British stars in the late 50s and early 60s. And it was recorded by Cliff Richard and the Shadows. The Shadows were still known as the Drifters then, and was the backing band for Cliff Richard. And it was a #1 hit for him in 1959. So this has taken us really, really back. But Cliff Richard, what an icon of rock and roll music history. Just fantastic. So tell us why you chose this song, Gav.
Well, give me a reason not to choose the song. It's a beautiful song. It's simple. It's got nice lyrics. It's catchy, and a lot of people know it. So here's Living Doll by Cliff Richard.
Got myself a crying, talking, sleeping, walking, living doll. Gotta do my best to please her just 'cause she's a living doll. Got her open iron, that is why she satisfies my soul. Got the one and only walking, talking, living doll. Take a look at her hair, it's real. If you don't believe what I say, just feel. Gonna lock her up in a trunk that no big hunk can steal her away from me. Got myself a crying, talking, sleeping, walking, living doll. Gotta do my best to please her just 'cause she's a living doll. Got a roving iron, that is why she satisfies my soul. Got the one and only walking, talking, living doll. look at her hair. It's real if you don't believe what I say, just feel. Gonna lock her up in a trunk that no big hunk can steal away from me. Got myself a crying, talking, sleeping, walking, living doll. Gotta do my best to please her just 'cause she's a living doll. Got a roving eye, and that is why she satisfies my soul. Got the one and only walking, talking, living doll.
Yeah, Living Doll. What a great song. Thanks so much. So, Gav, tell us what have you got in store next week? Give us the viewers a little bit of a hint of what you might be doing. And we definitely love having you on the show. You're part of the furniture now. You are the show, part of the show with us. So look forward to seeing you next week. And give us a little inkling of what we can expect.
Well, next week should be time for a bit of Bublé, some Sinatra. I think we should jazz and swing things up a little bit, and maybe I'll include one or two other surprises. But yeah, until then, ladies and gentlemen, keep safe, be safe, and we will all see you guys next week. Thank you, Grant. Bye-bye, guys.
Welcome back. Well, this next song is a really, really great song. It was recorded in 1966 and went to #1 on the US Billboard charts by a group called the Statler Brothers, who were a vocal ensemble. Really, really great. And the song was written by their lead tenor singer, Lou DeVitt. It was just a brilliant, brilliant song, and it's been used in so many movies, commercials, and in 2000, a newcomer to the country scene, a chap called Eric Heatherly, recorded it on his debut album called Swimming in Champagne. And I always remember, wow, man, what a great version this was. It's a sort of countrified rock version, and I always loved playing this song. So thought we'd bring it to you today. Really nice, fun little song. As I say, originally done 1966 by the Statler Brothers, written by Lou DeVitt. Hope you guys enjoy it. Here we go.
Well, I keep hearing your concern about my happiness, and all the thought you're giving me is consequence, I guess. If I was walking in your shoes, I wouldn't worry, no. Well, you and all your friends are out there having quite a time. Counting flowers on the wall, that don't bother me at all. Playing solitaire till dawn with a deck of 51. Smoking cigarettes and watching Captain Kangaroo. Don't tell me I've nothing to do. Last night I dressed in tails for 10 and I was on the town. As long as I can dream, it's hard to slow this swinging down. So please don't give thought to me, I'm ready, doing fine. You can always find me here, having quite a time. Counting flowers on the wall, that don't bother me at all. Playing solitaire till dawn with a deck of 51. Smoking cigarettes and watching Captain Kangaroo. Don't tell me I've nothing to do. It's good to see you. I must go. I know I look a fright. And anyway, my eyes are not accustomed to this light. And my shoes are not accustomed to this hard concrete. So I must go back to my room and make my day complete. Count the flowers on the wall that don't bother me at all. Playing solitaire to dawn with a Baker 51. Smoking cigarettes and watching Captain Kangaroo. Don't tell me I've nothing to do. Don't tell me I've nothing to do.